Terroir. I'm Simon Jacob, your host for this episode from Jerusalem. From the hills of Beit El, where Jacob dreamed, comes a boutique winery turning ancient terroir into world-class kosher wines. It's here, on land steeped in history and prophecy, that Hillel Manne and his family have been quietly crafting wines of rare elegance and soul. Trained in agriculture in UC Davis, but rooted deeply in the ancient terroir of the Judean hills, Hillel has built a winery that is both a modern boutique producer and a living bridge to the biblical past. Today, his rows of Cabernet, Merlot, and Carignan vines are nourished by the same sun and soil that sustained generations before him. We'll talk to the visionaries behind the label, explore the marriage of faith and fermentation, and taste the wines that carry the story of this place in every glass. If you're driving in your car, please focus on the road ahead. If you're relaxing at home, please open a bottle of great kosher wine, sit back, relax, as this story about Beit El is not just about a winery. It's a testament to how land, history, and human devotion can merge into something truly timeless.
My name is Hillel Manne.
Hillel Manne. Okay, Beseder, and this is Nina.
This is Nina.
Pleasure. Okay. So the questions I have is, I want to know a little bit about your history and, why you made Aliyah and your path to actually making wine.
I always sort of wanted to move to Israel. There used to be this thing with you come and go to an ulpan, and it wasn't there weren't so much yeshiva programs when we were young, when I was young, anyways. And in '77, I did an ulpan in the kibbutz Ein Sorim, and it was great. I had a great time, and then I came back to America and wanted to learn all about cotton because I had to do a bachelor's degree for my parents, right? Yep. And so that was. So then I came back in Shel Avim. I ended up working in the vineyard in '96 when I moved to Beit El. The obvious, or what appeared to me then was appropriate agricultural activity was grapes here in this area.
Perfect. Was there a family impact from your journey?
My parents weren't very happy about us moving to Israel, but me and my brother moved to Israel, and we had kids, and they enjoyed the grandchildren. My sister stayed in New York and doesn't have children.
So, you have grandchildren and grandchildren here?
Me now?
Yes.
My parents are nifter.
Okay, but no, you now.
I have. My granddaughter got engaged. My oldest granddaughter got married a couple of weeks ago.
That's something I'm still waiting for. None of my grandchildren are married, so I have no great grandchildren yet. But
I've got a grandson who's an officer, and he's got the kids. He's finishing up Tiranot, the basic training with them, and they're ready to go in the next couple of weeks.
Wow. So this is my number 2 son, and his eldest is in Givati.
Oh, great.
So, Baruch Hashem. Okay. What inspired you to choose Beit El as a site for planting grapes and to be here?
I chose to live here.
Okay.
And I chose to live here because it was a settlement, but with all the services. There was before we lived in Petach Tikva, and you want to take the kids to swimming pool when they're separate swimming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And there was from 7 o'clock at night till 11 o'clock at night, and there wasn't anything available, and everything was available. There was schools had a good reputation. There's clinics here, there's whatever you need. It was family-oriented decision, and then when I got here, I wanted to do something in agriculture. And I looked around, and because of the poor land and the topography, it's making wine. But I had a terrible business plan. Okay, I wanted to make simple grape juice and wines and sell it to my neighbors.
Okay.
That was a terrible mistake. Never try and make money off of
your neighbors.
Your neighbor, right? You got that right away. It took me a number of years to pick that up.
It took me a number of years too.
Ein chacham kabal. That's what I tell my wife.
Can you describe the journey from your first vines to today's production?
The first step is that I planted Carignan because I wanted these simple wines, right?
Wow.
And it turned out to be my Carignan. I don't know whether you know my wines, but my Carignan is very popular, as it turns out. Now, why is my take on it? I don't, from my experiences, that people, they don't have the self-confidence when it comes to wine. Okay, so their decisions are kind of you got to second guess them. Okay, but they like something very smooth, and they don't necessarily like the big tannic Cabernet, right? But they still, all they know is they come to the store and say, "Give me my Cabernet," right? Yeah. So here it's, a lot of my wines, also the Merlot in Israel, but also in the English-speaking world, has a very bad rap as a wine. I made two pallets of it, say, for argument's sake, okay? And just sat there, and nobody was tasting it for like 2 years, right? Because, nobody... And then somebody came in and tasted and made a lot of noise about it. Now it's something, my Merlot from Kfar Tapuach. It's a good wine. It's very concentrated, very, very sophisticated wine. But I'm just saying that those were sort of things that happened on the way. And then the big thing in the last few years is that I have two sons, Yisrael Meir and Shalom David, who work with me in the winery, and they've really... they brought it to a different level, and they're always trying something. I don't know whether we've got a still. We make Kosher LePesach brandy. We make the white wine, rosé. All sorts of interesting things are happening, and they're really very effective. Yisrael Meir is very effective in marketing. Nina is also very effective in marketing. Everybody knows that, and Yisrael Meir is very effective in marketing, and Shalom David's very organized. He studied it in Ariel in Shivi Drori's program, and he comes in with a little bit more organization than I have. And
yes. My favorite thing about your Merlot is the anecdote that comes with it. Mr. Meir told me a million times that people taste it, and it's called Merlot Tapuach.
Yeah.
He says people taste it, and they try to be, the aficionados, and they taste it, and they go, "I'm really getting that apple. I'm getting that Tapuach in there." And he just sits there. You're right. There's some tapuach in there. Come on, guys. But he goes along with it, and it makes people feel like they know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's the difference between me and marketing. Okay? He's nice. I'm not nice.
Baruch Hashem. He'll learn. What were some of the early biggest challenges that you faced at the very beginning? I promise there's going to be questions about the wine too, but I'm asking.
No, I don't. What's a challenge? The challenge is what's in your head, right?
100%.
It's all about what you. If there was something that I'd really like to change, it would be the politicians. What do you call it? Bureaucrats, stuff like that. But that's not happening. That's part of nature, Newton, and whatever.
Okay.
Gravity, whatever.
Are there biblical or spiritual roots that shape your approach to winemaking?
No, not to the winemaking. Okay, I make wine that usually the process is that I'm making something that I like. Okay. Okay, and then Yisrael Meir and Shalom and Nina have to go and find somebody to sell it to. Okay. I mean,
You're very pragmatic. I love it. I totally love it.
No.
Can I rephrase? Think like I think.
No. Let me rephrase that.
Go ahead.
And then I make wine that I like.
Yes.
And me and my family drink as much as we can, and what's left over we sell. Okay. So that you have that. That's clear. It's about a hedonistic experience. Okay, we're having a good time here. Okay. The question is about the Bible. Okay. When somebody buys wine, they don't just want wine and a fish. They want a story of it.
Yeah.
And so we've got the biggest story in the world. I mean, it's here. It's part of the experience when people come here to visit, and everybody's invited to make an appointment before you come. But everybody, we've got the the vineyards here, and we've got the history, and we've got archaeology, and we've got all sorts of interesting things. It's part of the experience, part of the story.
Yep. Let's talk about more technical wine things. The Terra Rosa soils here are unique. How do they express themselves in your wine?
Look, everybody likes this deal about terroir. I understand it's part of your thing, okay?
Yes.
But why is everybody on it? Because it's the only thing only they have, okay?
Right.
But everybody also has something else that they're forgetting about, okay? It's about the people growing the grapes and people growing the wine, what their motivation is, okay?
100%.
Okay, there are people who want. I mean, I'm fortunate that I buy grapes out, but most of the grapes I grow, I'm a farmer. That's I make and then try not to ruin them in the winery, and then everything's good, okay? And the point about terroir is the question is it's something of a talking point, but everything fits together. But you aren't getting anywhere unless you decide where you're going to first, right? And so you have to say what I want to do, okay? And it's the terroir is part of that puzzle, but it's not. Everybody comes into the store and they say, how many months was it in a barrel, right? How many? Yeah. They didn't ask what barrel. They didn't ask how many kilo produced. How the crop yield. They didn't talk. Did you do?
I'm going to ask you those questions, but no, I'm not.
No,
I know.
No. I'm just saying that you take people talk about talking points so that they have something to talk about.
Right.
And that's great. Okay, nothing wrong, but it's you have to.
But it's not the most relevant points.
No, it's part of the puzzle. Everything's part of the puzzle. Right. But I will tell you something about the altitude here being 850 where you're sitting, 870 meters above sea level, gives us an advantage. Is that in the evenings it's cool, and why is that important? You've already discussed that.
Yeah. No. Go ahead. Tell me.
Okay, but everybody talks about this, but the plants don't respire. Plants respire by temperature. Okay, it's not like you take a high schooler, undergraduate, right? And he respires according to the beers in the room and the music and whatever, right? And playing basketball, whatever it is, right? And plants, it's a function of the temperature. And at night, when the temperature goes down, they don't respire, or they respire much less. Okay. And so that's great because during the day they're doing photosynthesis, they're going forward.
Yeah.
In a lot of places it's hot at night and they're respiring like nobody's business, and they're taking a step back. So it's a matter of how much forward. Everything's about the photosynthesis and the biochemistry that's going on there. That's what makes the grapes.
So, but it's also what you were speaking about with regard to the winemaker. That's the reason why my podcast is called The Kosher Terroir. And I take a lot of flack for that because people say there is no such thing as a kosher terroir. And my feeling is that the winemaker and his process and what he does is an integral part of the wine. And because of that, it's as much a part of the environment around it. He's an integral part. The process of what you're doing is plays a part in the story of the wine. So that's the reason why I even use the name the Kosher Terroir. And I do take a lot of heat from that.
It doesn't matter. If you do something, you'll get heat.
Yeah, I know.
That's easy.
That's true.
Okay, if you don't do anything, then it's cool. Everybody likes you.
Okay.
But listen, Yeah, go ahead. What's that?
No. Okay. Is your philosophy minimal intervention or maximal intervention?
In the field, there's a lot of intervention, and that's how I get good grapes. Okay, Now, why is that? First of all, I see success. I see higher phenolics when you get when you do the leaf plucking and you get the berries out in the sun. It's like anything else. You get the more phenols. It's like somebody gets darker after a suntan, they get the more phenols. Okay, and that makes the wine's not only the color better, but the taste and the whole experience is better. Also, you look at a lot of things that are going on in the fermentation, and that's the yeast. And it's not only the yeast, it's what they're eating. They're eating something really neat, so they're having a good time too. And as a result, you get a lot of yeast fermentation byproducts that are good because of what you did in the field. But the question about intervention is, yes, I'm into. One of the things in France is it's against the law to fertilize.
Yes,
it's against the law
to do anything. To feed water.
To water.
Yep.
In most cases. Especially in the high end cases, and the deal there is no, follow the plant, see how it's developing, whether it needs more water or not less water. I'm the one in control. I don't want it to do whatever it wants. I've got a specific game plan for the grapes. Okay, we do petiole analysis to know how to fertilize. We follow up on it. It's part of the game plan. The handwork, but look, usually the grower is one person and the winery is another person.
That's why it's interesting with you that you're the same person.
Okay, that's traditional in France. So it's not like I invented anything, but the difference is when the grower is growing, he's getting paid by the acre. He's getting paid by the yield, by the tons, whatever it is, right? And the winery has to make wine with and they try and influence how he works, right? So they aren't working they're working at odds. At odds. At odds is good enough.
You're saying they don't have.
They're not working in unison. They're not.
They don't have the same incentives.
They don't have the same goal. They aren't headed for the same point. The grower at the end of the season, he just wants to pick the grapes and go fishing, right?
Right.
Give me another couple weeks. I get more mature grapes. I get more, people complain about the high alcohol. I happen to like the high alcohol. If you don't want, and the truth is that people, when they're tasting wine, they complain about the higher alcohol only after they read the label, not when they taste it. They taste it. And I mean, because it's not only about what it does to your once it gets into your blood system, it's got a lot of the mouthfeel, whatever you call it, and the how much mouthfeel you're getting there. It's important. It has a big impact there, but also the color changes. The color gets more developed. The tannins soften up. The pH maybe comes into balance, right? That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
When I'm picking is the ripe fruit is what I'm looking at. Other people, they don't necessarily have that luxury.
So normally I would ask, where's wine made? In the vineyard or in the winery?
In the vineyard.
Okay.
If you bring good wine to the vineyard, you can make good wine.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. You could screw it up. I've done it. Yeah. If you anything you do is about the raw material. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I get all sorts of people and try and ask and make my appropriate. Right. But I mean, like a teacher comes in, I says it's about the raw material. I mean, if you get a student that's, not the sharpest kid, right? Can you make a genius out of him? No. You can give him opportunities according to his capacity. It's about raw material.
Okay.
But you can't screw it up in the winery. If you screw up in the winery, it's not. Well, we can distill it still.
That's true. That's true.
Now that I've got that in line, we've got a solution.
Yeah.
No, there were wines that we sold in one way or another because we didn't want it involved in our brand.
Okay.
Fancy wineries often have that. They have their Grand Vin, and then they've got another label that they can put the less successful wine out.
Or they can sell it to another winery to do what they
want. It depends on the setup, but that's an advantage. So obviously I won't. I almost did it, but I won't talk about another winery in Israel. But
I want you to know something.
Yeah.
I edit everything. So even if there's something that you do say, you can always say, hey, please don't leave that in the podcast. I edit everything. Okay? So I'm just telling you.
Okay.
You'll know from the next question.
There is a winery here in Israel.
Yeah.
That's got a tremendous advantage that they send it to their mother winery if they aren't happy about it.
Right.
They've got a very competent winemaker, and he does whatever he can to make good wine. And the wine that aren't up to his
standards
or to the marketing standard, they said, okay, we don't need it. That's an opportunity that you often have in a sophisticated consumer.
Right.
He can get the rejects. Why was it rejected? Maybe it was just rejected because the marketing department says, I don't need that much reserve. And so it'll get bottled.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. So it gets bottled and sold at a lower price point.
Right. In Beit El, how do you balance tradition and innovation in the vineyard and in the cellar techniques?
Look, let me say it this way. We balance learning as much as we can, okay?
Yeah.
What gives good results, we work on that, okay? There's no
secret.
Look, in the halacha world, I've got my rules, right?
Yeah.
Winemakers, I don't have any rules, okay? But this is a critical thing to understand is that we talked about France a minute ago. Mm-hmm. I was talking to a Frenchman, okay? It doesn't matter what I was interested in, okay? Mm-hmm. And I taste non-kosher wines if I think there's something to learn. I taste and spit, okay? The point is that I was talking to this winemaker, tasted the wine, and I wasn't really impressed. And I said, it needs a little bit more, power in it, some oomph, whatever you want to call it. And he does this sort of thing. I mean, our communication was very poor. I know a few words in French. And I said, maybe you could plant some Cabernet, put some more Cabernet Sauvignon into this blend. He says, here in this location, I cannot plant Cabernet Sauvignon, okay? And I'm aware of the law, so I understood the issue. And I said, how about Malbec? And he said, no. And then in a minute of candidacy, he says, what I can do is I can order from the nursery Cabernet and ask them to write on the bill of lading Merlot. Okay? But that just gets back to what we think about politicians. We don't have anything special in Israel. They're all there to get around it, work around them. In France, there's good research. Okay, there is research. They've got lots of money for research. Okay. In Israel, there's a much smaller budget for research, okay? But in France, they do what their grandfather did, okay? The research. And in Israel, everybody's interest, we go, it doesn't matter whether it's the Department of Agriculture or whether it's Kamo Mizrahi or whoever puts it together, or Shivi, they're great, seminars where people come and you get... And people are talking about things. It doesn't have to be their concept that you go home with. But you hear something, you think about it, you think about what you're doing. And we're learning all the time. It's a changing thing, but it's not only about me that's changing. The market's changing. The market, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there wasn't anything to drink, and people said, "I don't like wine." Right? It was, and then as wines came onto the store and people started having the opportunity and having a little bit more money, so they were buying more higher quality wines. So it's also about me. They've been choosing my wines as well.
No, you're 100% right. Let's talk a little bit about them. What are the wines that you offer today?
This is about the marketing department. It's not me, okay? But I'll tell you what I heard over there is going on over there, okay?
Okay.
Okay. They in order to make, besides the brandy and the rosé and the white wine, the real wine, the red wine, right, is in 3 different tiers. Okay, there's the Sulam Yaakov, and Jacob's Ladder. Jacob's Ladder, right? And we've got Cabernet in that. We've got Marcelin in that. Cabernet Franc, and Carignan's in that.
I was going to ask.
Okay, so that's maybe there's at least 4 wines we've got in that tier. In the second tier is the Merlot. Yes.
Single varietals or a blend?
They're labeled as single varietals. Okay.
Sometimes there's a little blend. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
no. And look, the issue with bottle with is whether if according to law, I don't have to state more than 25%. Or less than 25%, I can put in and not state on the label. On the label, it depends on the country and it depends on.
Right.
But there's.
It's 15, I think, right?
Let's
whatever.
Look, I'm not good with following any laws. Okay. But the issue here is, I have blends. Okay, I have in the Revelation. There's a now what we're releasing is a Cabernet and a blend, and people get talking about, and it gets them confused. I like my Cabernet, I like the blend, and if you get,
don't look at the label. Drink
exactly. Don't look at
the wine.
Yeah,
that's why Flam produced the white label. They produced the white label on the new wine that they introduced, and they said they're tired of people looking at the label and telling them what they think about the wine. Did you drink it? Drink it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, fine. I don't care. Just drink it.
No, look, where's the issue here? Is the consumer doesn't have the self-confidence. Because if I'm having a conversation with you, I don't want to embarrass myself by saying something really stupid, okay? Right. Mildly stupid, I can get away with. People have this feeling that they brought this bottle of wine to their girlfriend, to their father-in-law, to somebody from the army, whatever it is, and they want to make a good impression. They went out and bought a good bottle of water, and they don't want to go through all that process and then be embarrassed by the guy saying it's not a good bottle of wine, right? So he first of all checks out what the critics wrote about it, okay? And then whether he likes it or not, it's a good bottle of wine. The critics said it was a good bottle of wine. Whether they're having any fun or not, it doesn't come across. I'll give you the opposite example. I always say that about chocolate, nobody writes, there's no chocolate critics, right? I could choose my own chocolate. I don't need anybody to tell me what chocolate it is.
Right.
I've been telling that for a number of years, and finally there was somebody from
Belgium or
Belgium, and they said, of course there are people who write about chocolate. But I mean, the concept is not everything you go out and read what a critic says, and on the basis of that you buy it and enjoy it, okay? You've got to find the wines that you're having a good time with, and this is a hedonistic experience, okay? You're supposed to have a good time.
You brought up the Revelation Reserve. You make that as a Cabernet and as
this what will be released.
Okay, that's a blend, or that's
there's a blend.
Else?
There's a blend in a Cabernet.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
It is very cool. It's a very good one.
That's the top of the line for you?
No. Again, I'm talking about things that I don't understand, okay? There's the...
Marketing will be here in a few minutes, though.
I am so happy to have met you. I really am. I'm so happy to have met you. It's a pleasure.
the concept is price points.
Yeah.
Okay, the price points where I'm not making any money and I don't need to be there, okay?
Right.
And the price points that they're just there for show. Nobody's selling any wine for... I mean, how many bottles, 200 bottles of wine go... it goes, it happens, but it's on the shelf and wow. Okay, so I asked a diamond merchant that likes my wines and drinks my wines, and he says, how do you sell those 1 carat diamonds for all the
money?
For the incredible amounts of money, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why anybody needs a diamond, right? But that's my personal issue, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, no problem. You want to sell 1 carat diamond? I put a 1.25 on the and a 1 carat diamond, 1 carat diamond, and a 75 point. Okay. And then the guy looks around and he says, "How much does the big one cost? And then how much does this one cost? And this, and then that puts him in. He didn't buy the most expensive one because that was too expensive. And he didn't buy the smallest one that was on the table, right?
Right.
So price points are all about that psychology, okay? And it's again, you don't. If you're sophisticated and work on it, you can really find very good values today in the market. Okay, they're very good value wines available but if I'm putting out a wine at 200 shekels, right, or $50, $60, I can't disappoint the client, right? They can't say. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be somebody who says I didn't like it, right? I mean, that's life, okay? But there's 2 wines that one's called 5757, okay? It's something that last winter we had wine here from 2017, okay? And it was very good wine, and it was also a little bit different bottle, a little bit heavier, a taller bottle, something. And it was very good one, but it was waiting for the marketing thing.
I loved your 2017, 2018. There was wine. I don't know whether it was called Heritage. I don't remember exactly what the name was. Had a brown label. It was just...
We don't care about the label. We already discussed that.
Spectacular.
Okay.
Spectacular one.
Okay.
I still have some.
Oh, Hashem.
It's my wife's favorite.
The 5757. I went with Shalom David, okay, the second son in the business. Okay, the one that studied in Ariel. And I said, you haven't been to one of these big...
wine shows.
You haven't been to one of the wine shows, and there was Milan this winter, okay? Now, because of the COVID, they're out of sync, and they have Milan and Bordeaux on the same year, so we'll see how... But Milan is a better show, okay, anyways. It doesn't matter. It was difficult because of the flights and something like that. Anyways, we got there. And we meant this, we saw that. It's more about, integrating things than anything specific. And I saw this metal label, and I said, who would buy a metal label on a 1 kilo bottle of wine? It's not something that's going through my mind. And but I was diligent. I took samples. I wrote down I came back and I made fun of it in front of the staff. And somebody says, "Oh, it could go." I said, "Look, so there's a particular store owner that he has very good relations with, he does very good with. He's got it, okay. He's dealing with the people every day who buy the package and right. And he says send him a picture of it and WhatsApp. If he likes it, we'll move forward. If he doesn't like it, he sends back with 0 time. Okay. He said take it. Do it.
I mean, there's a winery here in Israel. Their whole marketing is those metal labels.
Whatever.
This is the whole marketing.
Oh, my metal label is much better.
Okay. And what? Because of that, there's a bunch of wineries outside of Israel, now in California and what have you, that are doing all the metal labels. as well.
I was not aware of it.
Yes, it's crazy. I think it's absolutely meshuggah.
Look,
It's the same thing with heavier bottles.
also,
Big, heavy bottles.
We bottled. Listen, we bottled the. Now it's not for release in the near future, but we bottled with 1 kilo bottle, and it's going to have the metal label on it. But it's really good. It was my 4 best barrels, no question asked.
Yep.
I mean, I got to decide which were the 4 best barrels, which is part of the work. But anyways, but somebody's got to do it, exactly. So I'm talking. So in New York, I was doing my Hishtadlut for marketing, and they've got this box for bottles of wine, and I'm showing the owner of the store. I said, "Look what a nice box it is." And it's got the barcode on the outside so that you don't have to get out of the bottle to scan it. You can just, and it opens this way and it carries the bottle. And not only that, it has a bottle of wine inside. Look, it's important. Packaging is important in the following sense, okay? When I want to make a good impression on you, it's there, okay? Mm-hmm. If it's about us having a good time, right? When I said us, I moved, I pointed to all the people in the room and the people in the podcast, right? Yep. We're here to have a good time, right?
Yes.
I don't care what it looks like. I mean, I don't care what the packaging looks like.
You just care whether the wine is.
I mean, unless you enjoy looking at bottles of wine.
There's some people who do. And you're right about the impression. If you're bringing a bottle of wine to a host or what have you, some people, it's all about that.
You got to dress to impress.
Right.
Yeah, and on the podcast, I don't see how beautifully I'm dressed.
I know. I love it. I really love it. I think it's great. You certainly got the branding, even on the hat, even on the everything. Yeah, all around. It's
okay.
100%.
No, my daughter she's a teacher, okay? She was out with the kids in Hillel Nina, okay? And some kid that didn't, says, "How are you related to Per Manne?" Okay? Per is my grandson, and she's my daughter, right? She says, "How do you know I'm related to him?" She says, "We've got the same T-shirt with the Beit El on it." So all my family's out there working for me.
I love it.
That's one of the things. I don't know how you fit this in, but it's family. I don't have any investors. I don't have any significant debt. It all belongs to us. Okay, it doesn't, which makes a big difference.
Carignan, your Cliff View. Do you still have a Cliff View?
We just bottled enough bottles for the both of us.
Okay, good. So, how do you feel that fits into the global market? I'm asking you a marketing question again. I'm sorry.
Look. Again, I'm making something that I'm trying to create things that I enjoy, that I understand, that I relate to. The advantage of specifically the Carignan, besides the soft tannins and approachable, and it's also got high alcohol, so it's got that mouth feel, and you feel like you're having something significant, when you're drinking it, and it's got a complex nose on it, whatever you call it, the smell, like we say, it stinks real good. There's a trade-off, okay? If I'm making something, the same wine like everybody else, or my objective is to make the same wine as everybody else, then it's just another wine. I think that I excel in the traditional wine, or I hope we're trying to excel in the traditionally produced wines. But we also like to make something interesting, something that's different, something that's, and you get that, you get the feedback. Some people are nuts about the Carignan, and some people say, "Oh, it's not wine. It's it's good."
I love it. I love the Carignan.
It's crazy. Look, it's all about approaching it in we're going to have a good time here.
Yep. What varietals do you actually make wine out of? There's Carignan. There's Merlot.
Look, there's both Merlot from Kfal Tappuach, and I grow Merlot, okay? I grow Cabernet, I grow Petit Verdot, I grow some Malbec and some Marcelin. You like Marcelin?
I love it. I love it.
You want some juicy gossip?
Go ahead.
It's not available in Israel anymore, okay? Because the people who own the licenses told the nurserymen you can't not to sell it to people in the occupied territories, okay? And so it's to the best of my knowledge, it's not available from the nurseries anymore. Because the nursery says we can't tell people where they're going to buy it, what they're going to do it after they buy the seedling. And they said, okay,
that's crazy. Wow.
Oh, there's lots of politics. There's lots of politics.
No. Is there a wine that you make that you feel is way underrated? That's one of your favorites that people should really
I like
taste?
a variety. It's about what's going on in the room. There are a lot of things. It's not about. I don't ever want to say it's not about me. Okay, but I certainly don't pasteurize the wine for me. Okay, just saying that people say, oh, I want to. I'm certainly not putting it into a box because about me. That's not about me. Okay. I'm a farmer. We have really good olive oil, but that's not a business either. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things that you have to organize yourself. What you're having fun at, and what's the business.
Got it. How did the war impact you, or did it? The winery, not you personally. Obviously, everybody was impacted.
Look, but my kids did Miluim, whatever. The Corona thing. There's a lot of things that are going on in the last few years,
yeah.
And 2 days aren't alike as far as traveling goes. Okay,
right.
But the standard visitor here is not from Israel. Okay? I don't get it. But in Corona, I got visitors that were from the center of the country, and they couldn't go to, they said, I can't imagine, I never thought I'd visit in Beit El. Okay? But they can't fly, they can't go to Turkey, and they can't go to Greece for their vacation.
Right.
And so that was an opportunity. The war, I haven't had the tourists, but that'll work out. You have to look at the long term. Okay, it's not from here. Sanmir is my son. If he wants to correct any misrepresentations that I made.
Are you the marketing person?
I'm trying to sell something.
I think you need a microphone.
It's a really pleasure to be here. I'm really enjoying.
Pleasure to us.
I'm enjoying your father a lot. They're amazing. Target audience. Who's the target audience for your wines?
It's hard question because we're looking for all the Israelis, but it's gonna be a lie if I'm gonna say all the Israelis because the market in the Haredi is the biggest market in Israel.
This is a really important point.
So
This is really
That's
important.
interesting because it's the first time I've ever heard that comment.
It's a
because
great
people don't want to say it. It's like
hey, when I was a kid, I grew up in America.
Yeah.
There were very few Hasidim, and they didn't have any money.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Now in Williamsburg, only Williamsburg's got there. Okay.
Yeah.
There's I don't know what you call it, a fund, managed money fund, whatever it's called.
Right.
Okay. But don't come here if you're a small business, if you're a small client. If you don't have $50 million, we don't have anything to do with you. Okay? And they've got hundreds of investors there.
Right.
Okay? Look up Satmar and there was a Kenneth, what do you call it?
Yeah, Kenneth.
Convention in New Jersey, and a big convention center. All Satmar businesses do business with Satmar, okay? It's an incredible incredible economic opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, but not only in the States, also in Israel. Because we all the time hear in the tikshoret that they poor people, they only sitting in the kollel don't have money. But Jerusalem is the biggest market in Israel.
You know, that's so funny to hear because I keep hearing from people that Tel Aviv is the market. The restaurants in Tel Aviv.
It's the market for the not kosher wines.
Yes.
Or for the cheap white and rosé, things like that, bubble things. Yeah, it's market. Not to the red wines, not to the kosher red wines. Because the competition between the Israeli wineries and the wine that you bring in from Italy and French and all of them, it's not you cannot be in the competition because it's much expensive to make something in Israel. Not only wine, everything.
I know in Italy they support the grape growers
Italy,
and the winemakers.
French,
and France as well. They subsidize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
It's not only this, it's also the glass, okay? The bottle, the glass. It's much expensive to buy it in Israel. It's like 25% cost in Europe.
So then why do they use the thicker glass bottles for the high-end wines? It's like unbelievable.
Well, because then they can just up the price at the same, you know.
Because they have less what's the shufuni? Shufuni. It's in Arabic. Look at me.
Okay.
And Jews like it. I will bring the big bottle to the table.
Right.
Look what a nice bottle. What heavy bottle I bought with me. They drinking wine. It's much. It's less like.
Okay. No, it's crazy for me because actually, number one is then they ship it to the United States. So a container where the bottles weigh more than the wine is absolutely nuts to me. But they do it.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you pick up the bottle and you think you have a glass of wine left. And you go to pour it and there's nothing left in the bottle. And it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah.
It's for show. I guess where's your market? Is your market mostly
So Jerusalem
global?
Jerusalem is the biggest market
for you?
for us. Huh?
It's the biggest city, I know, but it's
The biggest
also,
city, and it's
I would have
a
never thought
very
Jerusalem.
religious city.
Yeah.
And there is like also it's תיירות, tourism, lots of tourism in Jerusalem, so it's also helping for that. And you have lots of hotels, lots of restaurants, and
Wow.
maybe Tel Aviv selling more wine, but I think the price of the wine that you're selling in Jerusalem is much more expensive.
Domestic versus international?
איך?
How much international business do you do?
We want to do more, but
What are the markets for you?
Tell them about what happened. There was a show in Paris and a show in Vienna.
Yeah.
And we were going to
We're
send this
selling-
on.
We're selling to United States, of course. We're selling to French, Austria, Polish.
England?
No, today we don't have in England.
Okay.
That's it. We're trying more and more, but this is for now. And I needed to go to French to a big show of the company that's selling our wine, and
Say the name of the French.
2 days before the show, they canceled my flight because of the war. Okay, month after they opened the sky again.
Yeah.
You can fly. So we had also a show in Austria,
Okay.
in Vienna. So I bought a ticket, of course. I wanted to go, and again, the Iran attack started, so I didn't went also for that. So yeah, but in French they're doing very good with our wines. How much? It's Bokobza company.
Clarice Baukobza.
Clarice Bokobza, and they're doing very good with the wine, and it's not it's big market. It's funny to say, but it's they like they buying a lot. They like the wine from Israel. They also very. It's of course it's going to the Jewish communities. It's not for the goyim, and and it's they very tzionim,
Yes.
mamash tzionim. So they like buying it. Also, they like it. Yeah, you can be Tzioni once. You will buy it. If it's not tasty, you will not buy it again. Yeah, but they keep in buying it, Baruch Hashem, and they. It's different from the state. They like to depend where in the state, but when you go into the Haredi area, then the part to help the Israelis business, it's less. Of course, if you go into Long Island and I don't know, Teaneck and
but
places
also
like that.
Also in New York, the Borough Park thing, Monsey, Williamsburg, it's a better market than Long Island. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You'd think Five Towns would be...
Baruch Hashem. Yeah, it's great. I'm also, you're the first person to ever tell me this. And I spent most of my life in New Jersey. I wasn't born there, but
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have... I mean, I have statistics about which stores bought our wine, right?
Right.
But so that I can be confident about. But most of the people, because I'm the grower and I'm also the guy in the store,
Yeah.
I think that I know what I'm talking about.
No. It makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of sense.
I don't get it. Why? What's it called? Great Neck.
Yeah.
What are the towns in Five Town?
The Five Towns.
Yeah. Those should be full of people. I did an event there in a young Israel in Five Towns,
Yeah.
Motzei Shabbos. Things are out of my, league. I don't know who I was talking. There was some kid who says, young kid, right? I said, he says, my wife is going to be so sorry she missed the event. And I said, what? You couldn't find a babysitter, trying to figure out. He says, no, she's a surgeon. She's working. It's not things that I necessarily, but it's not a big market. They got the money. There's no question about it. But I think one of the things inside this duality, what do you call it? Is that they go down to Florida and they have some place to spend their money. The Haredi community they don't do scuba diving. They don't do. They have ski vacations. They wine is something they can spend money on and have a good time.
So I'm interested about the whole thing with how well you sell in France, because your wines I find are very, very pronounced, and they have a lot of flavor. And I always find that very different from at least like a classic Bordeaux. Like the general, French wines are known to be bombastic, but also very tannic, but also very muted. And I find that these are very, very different from the classic French profile, especially what Jews know. When we talk mostly Bordeaux and stuff like that, nothing like this.
I don't... Look, you're talking about two things, what Jews know and what...
No, but you sell mostly to the Jewish community there as well.
No, I understand. Look, they don't know what they haven't tasted all the wines in the world either. And I've met people... I've met French people. I've got a French neighbor who knows wine, okay? What do you call it? No, you can't fool him, right?
Yeah.
But he also likes more substantial wines. He doesn't like this elegant thing, okay? Elegant wines are very good, but I mean, it's a genre.
You have to have built up a certain experience to like the much lighter wines and what have you, and to feel the elegance or to taste the elegance in them. But these are much more approachable for people. This is much more,
What is it?
This is the Carignan.
Yeah, it's a Carignan, but it's
not
delicious.
a Carignan. It's
your Carignan.
Look,
This is your Carignan from here, from your vineyards.
Yeah,
Very good.
and this has not been released, but the previous couple times I tasted it is I felt it was very closed, but here I find it's approachable.
It's not now. It's absolutely
You
delicious.
just opened that bottle?
Just open.
That's
Just
amazing.
open and it just bottled 2 weeks ago.
That's amazing.
Another thing
it's
that
ready.
people don't appreciate, when they first of all, for a person to have a good time, he has to decide, I'm coming to have a good time, okay? And okay, the other options I'm not dealing with right now. You've got to decide that you have to try a few different things and see what you like, okay? But also the same wine at a different temperature tastes different. As it develops in your glass, here, smell it now.
Yeah.
It smells different than when you first
Totally.
did it. Okay? In another hour the next morning,
It's going to be very different as well.
it's going to be very... When people ask me how much wine do I drink on Shabbos, right? And I said, when I have guests, I open 3-4 bottles. And when it's only me and Nina, it's 5 or 6 bottles. But I like opening a few bottles of wine on Friday night and then tasting the same bottles in Saturday morning. The development makes them so much more interesting and so much more the
complexity, you don't feel it until you compare.
Okay. Look, there are a lot of things to understand also. There's a lot of other things to understand about when you want to have a good time. Is the color? Is the color important in the wine? If you aren't enjoying the color, I guess you don't care. But
I asked for a spittoon and I got in trouble.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
I like the wine.
We're drinking wine,
You know
not
this is one of my favorite wines.
It's
So what?
amazing. It's absolutely. It's
I got a
awesome.
lot of dry-
I haven't
Few more
tasted.
wineries.
I haven't
but
tasted
you feel
this.
now on the aftertaste is still a bit.
It's there. I love
This is
it.
the first time I drank a bottle of wine, maybe it was only 2 weeks, that I could actually feel the yeast as part of the aromas in the bottle. And maybe it's only 2 weeks. It's delicious.
I want to ask him. I want to ask one more question while he's here.
Here, we've got somebody who's.
I need you for one more minute. Okay, don't worry.
I'm listening.
I like the finish on this a lot, and it's a long finish. It's lovely. It's just wonderful.
Another thing is you've got very talented winemakers that make the same wine every year. Okay.
Put it back. Yep.
You've got winemakers that make exactly the same wine every year. It's not me. I don't have to be consistent. I'm a small family-owned. We're making it for ourselves. It doesn't have to be consistent. I come every time, and I want to do it right.
You want to get a wow from yourself. That's okay. The question I have while you're on, because I know everybody's going to go soon, the last major question is, what's the long-term vision? Where do you want to be in the next year, the next 5 years, the next decade? What's the goal? Is there?
He's talking to you, son.
Yeah,
I'm 67. I'm retired. I'm retired. I hit it.
No, we don't want to be like one of the biggest ones. We're looking to stay boutique. I don't know what's in
How
boutique.
many bottles approximately do you make a year now? Approximately.
We're doing today around 40,000 bottles.
Okay, good. Nice size.
We're of course looking to grow, but not above 100, 120, not more than that. We're looking to stay in good quality, good things, special things, like to stay like family thing. Because if we wanted, we could be already very big, because you have lots of people that come in here. I want to mashkias, and I want to invest you, and like all the wineries around us. Yeah, okay. So we can be very fast, much bigger, and we're looking to stay like family business, small, not big name, but not a lot of.
Under control.
Yeah, under control.
You want it to be your business, not to
when
be.
When you're growing, you have to bring more grapes, bad grapes, and to make like cheap wines and lots of things around it. We want to stay. We're doing a little bit rosé and white, but we want to be under good red wines in barrels.
Which white do you make?
Look, I've been experimenting, but the what you said about the yeast.
Yeah.
I was here with somebody. This is the second year I bought grapes out. Okay, I bought doesn't matter French Connard and I bought Emerald Riesling. Okay, and the Emerald Riesling I hit it perfect with the yeast and he. A friend of mine came in and I was tasting, again, these are bottles before we're releasing them, and I just opened the bottle and he said, wow, because the smell with the esters, the terpenes, whatever is going out from the yeast products. It's a different experience, the white wines, but we are we drink them. I drink them. I enjoy them. I have a good time, but it isn't a big thing in the market. Our core business isn't the olive oil or the brandy or the whites or the rosé. It's the red dry wine.
Yeah. No, this is also the market in Israel. People drinking a little bit rosé, but it's more like talking about rosé and not drinking.
Wow.
Of course, it's also weathers. People drinking more wine in in the winter, and they drinking vodka XL. I don't know what in the summer.
That's me. I don't know how that.
It's thing that the
Wait till
young
it warms
people
up a little bit because it did come out of the refrigerator. But I do want this. This is a very nice effort. Look at the color. Look at one of the things is, before I start directing the wines, we send out to spectrometry and to get a rate with the total phenol concept, because that's a very good indicator of the quality of the wine, the red wines.
Can't believe that Carignan is a 24.
The Carignan doesn't age very nicely. What's the oldest the Carignan you've got here? You've got
No, I have 13 or 14.
it's probably
not
nasty.
Also, if it's not nasty, it's like it's not.
There's no point.
It's not like a cab or Merlot that's making it better. It's like in the halakha there is mitztamek veralo and mitztamek vetovlo.
Yeah.
So here it's mitztamek veralo. No, but I will be happy to hear your opinion if it's ready to go out to the market.
I think it's very approachable right now. I don't think you can decide as to whether it's ready to go out to the market, but I don't think that there's any. Do you think that there are rough edges on this?
I like them. I like those rough edges.
Me too.
But it's
It's not fully integrated.
Okay, fine. But we have three different wines. Okay.
Yes.
Everybody's a different story. Okay?
Yes.
But that's great. Great. I don't know. I don't know about you. There are people in the world who want to have exactly the same menu every day, every Shabbos, every Yontif.
I'm not one of those people.
Huh?
I'm not one of those people. You can ask me.
Okay, fine. But those people are living. I mean, I hope they're happy, right?
Yeah.
But a boring life.
Yeah.
I'm something interesting. About eating the same thing, right? I don't speak Yiddish. I don't understand Yiddish. A little bit.
I'm Sephardi, so I don't know it from.
You don't need the excuse. But I sit and listen to him, try and figure out what he was talking about. Okay, and afterwards the Rav was talking to me in Square in Bnei Brak. Okay, he says I was an example of what he used me as an example because I take out Shabbos regular, and they give Benotam. And he says, can I take his stribel out of whether it's b'chefza or b'gavra, okay,
right.
that thing. And also he was talking about, and I said, but what were you talking about before? About the fleshig meal. You know, it was before Shavuos, right? It's Yontif, you got to eat fleshigs and stuff like that. But you also are eating milchit, so you got to be careful. Think about what you're doing before you get involved in it. And I said, I was thinking of an example, groping for an example. I can't imagine having a kugel that's milchik. Then all of a sudden I remember, sure, my mom made kugel with cottage cheese. He says, the Rav says, my mother too, right? But it's chutznikim, it's not Israelis. It doesn't happen in Israel. But it's interesting. Life is interesting especially food. You know the name Rich Thomas?
Sorry.
He came to when we were very young. Okay, he came in Napa, Sonoma. They used to grow prunes. They used to grow chickens. Whatever, right? And he said, "Let's try, this Cabernet thing." And okay, he's the guy who
started it.
He was the field advisor that pushed this concept. Okay, and everybody obviously wants to say it was their idea, but that's cool. But he was in big demand in the California wine shows. He was a judge. I mean, in San Francisco, Los Angeles, they're very, very. Some of them are very sophisticated, very serious wine shows, and he was always in demand as a judge. Okay, he said in every show, without an exception, I could always point at an example where the higher priced got the bronze and the lower price got a gold. Okay, always, if you're a sophisticated consumer. It's not about palate. It's about having a good time and being value per money, right? You can be out there and having a great time, or you could be following the
trends,
the trend and the neighbors and your father-in-law and the critics and spend a lot of money and have a miserable time.
You have the Jacob Dream. Yeah. So you have three varietals in this. You have Carignan, Cab Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Marcelana. It's also very special. Four.
No, but in Hebrew it comes out three.
Okay. No, I get it.
Three?
No, it's okay. No. It's like Monday and Sunday, Monday and Tuesday.
And you have the Tal Binyamin. You have in the Tal Binyamin it's three. That's okay. Three.
I don't remember.
You have the Cabernet Sauvignon, Malbec, and Merlot.
Okay.
The famous Merlot Tapuach that people very like. And in the Revelation, we did it like not every year we did it. And sometimes we did it only cab and sometimes we did it blend. But this year we did it also blend and also cab. So we have 2 bottles in the 23. And above this we have 2 special things. We have the Majestic, and we have the 5757. It's 2 special wines that we're not doing every year at all, and we're doing sometimes when it's very special, when we get in good grapes.
Thank you for the time. Thank you. Really.
Enjoy yourself.
Today, we've heard the stories and tasted the dreams bottled here in the Judean hills, but our journey doesn't end in Beit El. Next week, we'll explore another chapter in the ever-evolving story of kosher wine. Until then, keep your palate curious, your glass full, and join me again on the Kosher Terroir, where every sip has a story. This is Simon Jacob again, your host of today's episode of the Kosher Terroir. I have a personal request. No matter where you are or where you live, please take a moment to pray for our soldiers' safety and the safe and rapid return of our hostages. Please subscribe via your podcast provider to be informed of our new episodes as they are released. If you're new to the Kosher Terroir, please check out our many past episodes. Bye.